So I've seen some preseason top 25 polls that had Clemson somewhere around 12 to 13. And obviously, I think if you base everything off of the performance last year, particularly how Clemson ended the season, upset loss to South Carolina, blowout to Tennessee in the Orange Bowl, you can make an argument that Clemson should start off preseason 12 to 13. But honestly, I think Clemson is going to be one of the top 5 teams in the country this year. And I think what the rankings just don't understand is the massive move that Dabo made with Garrett Riley. I mean, he's unquestionably the biggest hire of the offseason, the number 1 rated overall offensive coordinator in the entire country. What he's going to do to the Clemson offense is just underestimated. With Brandon Streeter, not a very good offensive coordinator, it's his first year truly calling the plays, and things just didn't go well. Plus, DJ Uiagalelei it didn't work out at Clemson. Now with Cade Klubnik, former number 1 overall quarterback coming out of high school, with the number 1 offensive coordinator in the country, Clemson's offense is just going to make a huge leap. This was a home run hire, the best hire in the entire country in the offseason. Clemson's offense is going to go from mediocre to instantly one of the top 15, if not the top 10 offenses in the entire country. All right, Garrett Riley is just an incredible offensive mind. Hopefully he sticks around for 2 to 3 years to really build this offense up. But just the initial shot that he's going to have with the hire, we're going to have an explosive offense, and we're going to score a lot of points. Also with Cade Klubnik, I mentioned former number 1 overall high school quarterback. I think he's going to fit with Garrett Riley's system very well. He's very accurate. He's athletic. He can really run. Sneaky athletic, because people don't even realize just how fast he is. And I think he's going to make a huge leap under Garrett Riley. Last year we saw flashes, particularly in that Georgia Tech game, the opener, the North Carolina game, obviously. Even in the Tennessee game, he made some really good throws. I think he's going to make a huge leap forward. I think he's got just a much better offensive coordinator, a much better quarterback coach now. And I'm looking for him to make that massive leap into year 2. I honestly think Cade Klubnik can compete for the Heisman Trophy this year. And, Garrett Riley is certainly going to help him get there. After Klubnik, go to running back. I think Clemson's holding one of the best running back duos in the entire country. Will Shipley, Phil Maffa. It's hard to find a better 1-2 punch than them two. Shipley can do so many different things for an offense. Great receiver out of the backfield. He can line up in the slot. Obviously, his home run ability every time he touches the ball. And then Phil Maffa is just a monster, just a beast, 220 pounds, maybe even higher, fast, 4.5 type 40. I mean, he's just a physical runner. To have both of those guys, again, there's not many teams in the country that can say they have running backs as good as those two. Both those guys are NFL running backs, both entering their 3rd year. I think they're also going to make a big leap with Garrett Riley. He has that air raid offense, but when you look at what he did at TCU last year, their running game was amazing. And so I think Shipley and Maffa are going to benefit massively. Their numbers are going to go up with Garrett Riley as well. And then the receivers have obviously been a disappointment the last couple of years. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, Brandon Streeter, Tony Elliott just aren't innovative offensive minds like Garrett Riley is. And also DJ at quarterback. I don't think DJ just wasn't a great quarterback. Accuracy just wasn't there, particularly downfield. His confidence wasn't there. And honestly, the receivers suffered as a result. I think all of them are also about to take a boost on a Garrett Riley. Antonio Williams, to me, has, all ACC, All-American type ability. I think the coaches see that in him. Apparently, he's stepping up in his leadership role as a sophomore. Came off a freshman All-American season. I think he's just going to get better and better for us. I've always liked Bo Collins. I think he's a really good receiver. I think he's got good athleticism, good route running, very smart, instinctual type wide receiver. Can, play the ball vertically. He's always made plays as a freshman, sophomore. Last year, he took a step back, but also he was hurt for a lot of the year, and also with DJ at quarterback. I think Bo Collins, NFL receiver, I think he's going to make a huge leap in year 2 under Garrett Riley. And then next to Adam Randall, Cole Turner, who knows what we get out of them. Cole Turner certainly showed flashes at the end of the year, North Carolina game, Tennessee game. Adam Randall, the coaches love him. They rave about him. They think he's going to be the next big-time wide receiver at Clemson. I think those 4 guys, just if they take that next step under Garrett Riley, this receiver room is just going to be a lot better. And it's going to look a lot better with Garrett Riley and Cade Klubnik at quarterback. And then behind those 4, you got, Brandon Spector be a 5th-year guy, Troy Salato, 3rd-year guy. If he can stay healthy, those 2 veterans, maybe they can contribute. And then Clemson signs 4 freshmen. Ideally, one of them is going to contribute. Noble Johnson's already on campus. We'll see him in the spring game, so we'll see if he'll be able to contribute. But outside receivers going to tight ends, I think Clemson boasts one of the best tight ends in the entire country. You could, say Brock Bowers. Undeniably, he's the best tight end in the country at Georgia. I wouldn't argue with you about that. But I think, honestly, Jake Brennistill can make the argument for behind him, right? He was the number 1 high school quarterback coming out of high school, or number 1 tight end coming out of high school. I think he's a guy, just immense ability. He's saying he's listed at 6'7", 230 right now. I think with Garrett Riley, he's going to be, again, just like the receivers, just like Shipping Moffitt and Klubnik, he is going to take that next step in his development. I think we're going to find ways to get him the ball. He's a mismatch nightmare. Good luck putting linebackers on him. Safeties are going to be way too small for him. He's just going to be a freak of nature this year. Another guy that high-end NFL potential. I honestly think we're looking at one of the best tight ends in the entire country. He's going to put it all together this year, and Garrett Riley is going to help him get there. And then to round out the offense, we're returning 4 starters on our offensive line. Mitchell Mays has starter experience, so there's even a 5th guy with game time experience, starting experience. But we're losing left tackle Jordan McFadden, and I think what's going to happen is Tristan Lee's going to take over that spot, and this is a former 5-star in year 3. Hopefully the development is there. He missed his senior year of high school because of COVID, got out of shape, so he needed an extra year to develop. Year 3 now, this is his year. He's going to step in, former 5-star left tackle. And if you look, if he starts, Tristan Lee, Marcus Tate, Putnam, Parks, and then Blake Miller, freshman All-American last year, it'll be the biggest offensive line we've had, and I honestly can't remember, probably since I've been alive as a Clemson fan. And that's our offense, right? We return so much, and then Garrett Riley's coming, and I think he's going to make a huge impact for us. On defense, year 2 under Wes Goodwin, and I think Wes Goodwin's potentially on the hot seat right now. In fact, I think all the coaches are on the hot seat at this moment. Dabo just demonstrated last year that he will make a decision firing Brandon Streeter, replacing him with Garrett Riley. I think all the coaches know that the expectation has to get better. All the position groups have to get better. And for Wes Goodwin, the defense has to get better. Clemson's defense just honestly took a step back last year. Pretty young secondary, injured a lot. But I think this year we got to make that huge leap. We got to come back to being a top 10 defense. But I think we're more than capable of doing that. Xavier Thomas, X Factor. He's entering his 6th season. Former 5-star. We've been waiting for him to just blow up. And we had glimpses of it last year when he came in against Boston College in his only action of the season. He had 2 sacks in 6 plays, a tackle for loss. He was the defensive player of the game, and he only played 6 plays. So I think Xavier Thomas, fully healthy, best shape of his life. I think we're having a guy, elite edge rush ability that we haven't had in a while. I think this is a guy who can get double-digit sacks for us. Really excited for him to finally stay healthy, finally be able to put it all together. This is his money year last year at Clemson. Obviously, the talent is there. We just have to see him put it together. And opposite of him, another 6-year defensive end, Justin Maskell, veteran guy. He's probably going to grade out very well. He's never been highly productive since he's been at Clemson. He also hasn't played starter snaps the entire time, so we're going to rely on a 6-year guy that just, a good player, not great, not going to jump off at you, but, a guy who probably can ultimately find his way onto an NFL roster. Depth behind them, young, inexperienced, but I like the pieces we got. Cade Denhoff's a guy they're talking about during spring. TJ Parker's apparently has impressed as a true freshman during spring as well. So hopefully depth is building up. Xavier Thomas, Justin Maskell, I like our defensive ends. Defensive tackle, like running back, I think it's hard for a team to say they have better defensive tackles than Clemson. Tyler Davis and Ruka Roro coming back for their 5th season. Those 2 right there, they're going to be the starters. It's hard to find a better duo in the entire country than them. Both of them are going to get drafted relatively high. I would imagine day 2 picks in that 2nd or 3rd round. Behind them, Peyton Page, Troy Williams. They've played for the last couple of years, and they've both been very productive when they've been on the field. And then obviously the news is Peter Woods is as advertised, the 5-star out of Alabama. All the coaches are raving about him. Even all the players are raving about him. The hype is real. I said he was the best recruit in the entire country. And literally everything out of this spring is indicating that he is. I can't wait to see him in the spring game live for the first time. But just those 5 guys, that's a freak defensive tackle room. And then just see what we have behind them. That defensive tackle room is just stacked. Nick Eason has been a wonderful hire so far. And then if you go to linebackers, Barrett Carter, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., is there a better linebacker duo in the country than them? I don't think so. Both of those guys have first-round potential, and they're freaks. They're both hyper-athletic, playmakers, great tacklers. Those two as our linebackers this year. I mean, it's crazy how good they are. Again, best linebacker duo in the country. Nobody comes close to them, in my opinion. And then behind them, Wade Woodaz flashed last year. TJ Dudley, former 4-star. That's going to be our depth behind Carter and Trotter Jr. Love our linebackers this year. They can do a lot of things. They can cover. They can blitz off the edge. They can play the A-gap. I mean, our linebackers are just elite, and I can't wait to see how good they are this year. And then at corner, we really struggled at corner last year, but I think Nate Wiggins at the end of the year finally emerged as that guy for us, that real number one lockdown corner. And him coming into his third year, his junior year, I think, he's going to be that elite number one corner that we've had in the past. I think guys like A.J. Terrell, Trayvon Mullen, Mackenzie Alexander, those guys that get drafted really high. I think Nate Wiggins is that guy. He can get drafted in the first, second round. He can truly be a lockdown corner for us this year, and we really missed that last year. The other corners, I think you're looking at Sheridan Jones, fifth-year senior. He's probably going to start. Malcolm Green, fourth year, so another senior. Veterans, probably NFL guys that'll be at least on a roster at some point. And then behind them, Toriano Pride, Jaden Lucas, got a lot of experience last year as true freshmen. Both of them were highly rated guys coming out of high school. I think they take that next leap as well. Year two is going to be big for them. So those 5 corners, I love what we have right there. That room is going to improve massively from where it was last year. And then our safeties just weren't very good last year, but fortunately we returned every single one of them. And the reports coming out of spring are that Andrew Makuba, healthy last year, dealt with a lot of different injuries, played out of a position last year at cornerback. They're saying now he's fully at safety and sometimes even that nickel. He's added 10 pounds of muscle. I love that. I think All-American type of season out of Andrew Makuba. Just, he was a freshman All-American, took a setback as a sophomore, but I think junior year, finally playing safety, finally healthy, adding some more muscle mass to his frame. All-American type season, the abilities there. I'm excited to see Andrew Makuba in year 3. And then after that, Jalen Phillips, 5th-year guy, Tyler Venables, senior, 4th-year guy, R.J. Mickens, senior, 4th-year guy as well. To have 4 veterans in the second at safety in that 2 deep, that's just amazing. And then also behind them, a guy like Sherrod Koval's really flashed. So defense, I'm expecting to make a huge leap, just like the offense. And I think, honestly, at the end of the day, Clemson is going to have a top 10, top 15 offense and defense this year. And if we accomplish those things, I think you're looking at a team that should be one of the top 5 in the country. Given our schedule, given the ACC, that means we should be a team that competes for playoffs, and that's my expectation this year. A lot of people are overhyping Florida State, in my opinion. I think Clemson's still the cream of the crop in the ACC, although I do think Florida State is a really good team. I still think Clemson's better, and ultimately we'll win that out with the game in Death Valley this year. My expectation, playoffs, preseason rankings have us at 12 or 13. I definitely don't think that. I definitely think we're a playoff team, and if we're in the playoffs, I think we can contend for a national title. That's my take. Go Tigers.